Have you ever spent an entire hour thinking about speaking English without actually speaking English? Or maybe you've replayed a conversation in your head 20 times, wishing you'd said something differently? Here's the truth. Overthinking isn't helping you learn. It's actually slowing you down. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to share 6 mind shifts that the top 1% of English learners use to overcome overthinking and make faster progress. These aren't motivational quotes, they're practical mental habits that will change how you think, learn, and speak English. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to quiet the noise in your mind and learn English with clarity. Hey everyone, welcome to Mia's English Space. I'm Mia, and this is your cozy corner for practicing English. Today, we're talking about overthinking, and this isn't just about vocabulary, it's about developing a winning mindset so you can finally break through the mental barriers that are holding you back. Before we dive into these powerful mind shifts, if you're new here, welcome. I create these videos every week to help you improve your English and your mindset. We combined practical language learning with mental clarity because I believe that a calm mind learns faster. If you find this helpful, please subscribe, give it a like, and drop a comment telling me which mind shift you need most right now. Your support helps more learners discover this space, and I genuinely appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. All right, let's jump into the first mind shift. Mind shift number 1, see the gray, not just black or white. Let me ask you something. Have you ever thought any of these things? I missed one day of English practice, so I'm the worst learner ever. Or I woke up late today, so the whole day is ruined. Or either I speak perfect English or I should just stay silent. If you've thought any of these, you're not alone. This is called all or nothing thinking, and it's one of the biggest traps in language learning. Here's the problem. When you think this way, you see everything as either total success or complete failure. There's no middle ground. It's like a light switch, on or off, either perfect or terrible. But here's what top learners understand. Life isn't a light switch. It's a dimmer. A dimmer lets you adjust the brightness little by little, and that's how learning really works. Small adjustments, gradual progress, not giant leaps from 0 to perfection. Let me give you a powerful example of how the top 1% think differently. When most people fail at something, they think, I failed. Period. End of story. That's the whole sentence in their mind. But top achievers think, I failed and I learned something. Did you hear the difference? They add one simple word, and. This tiny shift changes everything. It transforms failure from a final judgment into a step in the process. Let's quickly break down 2 key words. Overthink means to think too much about something until it makes you stressed or confused. Ruin means to destroy or spoil something completely. So when you think my day is ruined, you're saying one mistake destroyed the entire day. But is that really true? Let's practice this mind shift right now. I'm going to say an all or nothing statement, and I want you to change it. Ready? Either I speak perfectly, or I should stay silent. Now change or to and. What could you say instead? Here's one option. I'm learning and getting better every day. Or I make mistakes, and that's how I improve. Do you feel how much lighter that is? That's the gray zone. That's where real progress happens. Quick pause. If this mindset shift is already helping you see things differently, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps other English learners find this video. Now, let's move to mind shift number 2. Mind shift number 2. Think backwards. This is one of my favorite strategies because it's so simple, yet so powerful. Most people ask, how can I succeed at learning English? And that question leads to overthinking. You start making complicated plans, buying 10 different books, downloading 15 apps. Your mind is filled with strategies, and you're overwhelmed before you even start. But top achievers ask the opposite question. They ask, what would make me fail? This is called reverse engineering. Instead of chasing success, they identify failure and then avoid it. Let me show you how this works in English learning. Ask yourself right now, what things would stop my English progress? Think about it. What would actually make you fail? Here are the most common answers. Skipping practice for days or weeks, overthinking every single grammar rule, waiting for the perfect moment to speak, translating every word from your native language before speaking. These are the potholes in the road.
Dodge means to move quickly to avoid something. Potholes are small holes in the road. I'm using it as a metaphor for problems or obstacles. So the strategy is simple. Dodge the potholes. If you know that skipping practice will make you fail, then the solution is clear. Practice every single day, even if it's just 10 minutes. If you know that waiting for the perfect moment will make you fail, then speak imperfectly right now. The top 1% think less and act smart. They identify what not to do, and then they simply do the opposite. Here's a quick challenge for you. Right now, in the comments, write down one thing that would make your English learning fail. Just one. Be honest. Then commit to doing the opposite this week. All right, mind shift number 3 is coming up, and this one might surprise you. Mind shift number 3. Don't stay stuck with a boring method. Let me ask you something personal. Are you currently using a study method that feels like a chore? Maybe it's a course you bought 6 months ago that you force yourself to watch. Maybe it's vocabulary lists that bore you to death. Maybe it's a textbook you're supposed to finish because you paid for it. Here's the hard truth. You're not being loyal to that method. You're stuck. And there's a big difference between loyalty and being stuck. The top 1% understand this principle. They aren't married to methods, they're married to progress. Let me say that again. The top 1% aren't married to methods, they're married to progress. If something isn't working, they drop it immediately, without guilt. Loyal means staying faithful or supportive to something or someone. Guilt-free means without feeling bad or ashamed. So when I say drop it guilt-free, I mean let it go without feeling like you failed or wasted money. Here's a simple test to know if you should keep using a method. Ask yourself, if I were starting my English learning journey today, would I still choose this method? If the answer is no, stop using it today. Not next week. Not after you finish the course. Today. Because here's what happens when you hold on to boring methods. You're creating busy work, not real progress. You tell yourself, I studied for 2 hours today. But did you actually improve, or did you just feel productive? Think about your current study routine. I want you to identify one thing, just one, that feels like a chore and doesn't create real progress. What would you replace it with? What activity actually makes you feel like you're improving? Maybe instead of memorizing word lists, you'd rather watch English TV shows. Maybe instead of grammar drills, you'd rather have real conversations. Here's the permission you've been waiting for. Letting go isn't quitting. It's creating space for something that actually works. We're halfway through, and I want to make sure you're subscribed because I post videos like this every single week. Practical English lessons combined with powerful mindset strategies. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. All right, mind shift number 4 is about focus. Let's dive in.
Mind shift number 4, find your bottleneck. Imagine you're driving on a highway and traffic is moving smoothly, but suddenly everything slows down to a crawl. Why? Because one slow car in one lane is blocking everyone. That one car, that's a bottleneck. Bottleneck means the main thing that slows down progress. In manufacturing, if one machine breaks, the entire production line stops, even if everything else works perfectly. That broken machine is the bottleneck. And here's the thing, you have a bottleneck in your English learning too. It's the one thing that's slowing everything else down. For some people, it's fear of speaking. For others, it's pronunciation. For some, it's overthinking grammar every time they try to write a sentence. But here's what most people do. They ignore the real bottleneck and focus on easy stuff. They buy a new grammar book when the real problem is they're too afraid to speak. They download new vocabulary apps when the real problem is they never practice pronunciation. The top 1% don't do this. They identify the real problem and fix it. Period. There's a great phrase for this. Focus beats busy. You can be busy all day doing 10 things that don't matter, or you can focus on the one thing that does. So here's what I want you to do. Be honest with yourself. What is the one thing that truly slows down your English progress? Not the easiest thing to fix, not the most comfortable thing, the real problem. Is it fear of making mistakes? Is it not practicing speaking? Is it overthinking every sentence before you say it? Whatever it is, that's your bottleneck. And until you fix it, nothing else will matter. Think of it this way. You can polish the outside of a car all day. Clean the windows, wax the paint, shine the wheels. But if the engine is broken, the car won't move. Stop polishing. Fix the engine. Now, let's talk about emotions. Mind shift number 5. Don't decide when you're emotional. This might be the most important mind shift of all. Here's a simple rule that the top 1% live by. When you're calm, you think. When you're emotional, you react. Let me say that again. When you're calm, you think. When you're emotional, you react. And reactions, they're almost always wrong. Imagine this. You just had a terrible speaking practice session. You stuttered, forgot words, felt embarrassed. You're frustrated, angry at yourself. And in that moment, you think, I'll never learn this language. I'm quitting. That's your emotional brain talking. It's in drama mode. It wants immediate relief from the pain, not long-term clarity. But here's the truth. You're not making a decision in that moment. You're just reacting to a feeling. And feelings, they pass. The top 1% understand this. When they feel emotional, angry, stressed, frustrated, they pause. They don't make decisions. They don't send messages.
They don't quit. They just breathe. Because here's what they know. Clarity loves calm. Clarity loves calm. When you calm down, suddenly the decision becomes obvious. You realize, okay, that was one bad session. It doesn't mean I'm a failure. It means I need more practice. Here's a simple practice for you. The next time you feel frustrated with your English learning, do this. Stop, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Then ask yourself, is this a real problem or am I just emotional right now? 99% of the time, you're just emotional. And that's okay. Feelings are valid, but they're not facts. All right, final mind shift. This one is about the long game.
Mind shift number 6. Play the long game. Here's something most people get wrong about the top 1%. They think these high achievers work harder than everyone else. But that's not the secret. The secret is this: they don't work harder. They stay consistent longer. They show up when things get boring. They show up when things get hard. They show up when no one is watching. Let me tell you something about progress. It's not linear. You know what linear means? It means a straight line going up. But real progress looks more like this. You improve, then you plateau. You plateau for weeks. Nothing seems to be happening. You feel stuck. And most people quit right there. But here's the secret. That plateau, that boring, frustrating plateau, that's where the breakthrough is hiding. Breakthrough means a big and important improvement after lots of effort. Cruise means to move smoothly and calmly without much effort. The top 1% understand that slowdowns are normal. In fact, they often happen right before the biggest breakthrough. Here's a phrase I want you to remember. Mastery hides in the boring days. Mastery hides in the boring days. The days when you don't feel like practicing, those are the days that matter most. The days when progress feels slow, those are the days that separate winners from quitters. Because anyone can show up when they're motivated. That's easy. But true growth happens when you show up even when you're not motivated. Here's my challenge for you. Choose one English habit, just one, and commit to it for 30 consecutive days. Not when you feel like it, every single day. Maybe it's 10 minutes of speaking practice, 1 page of reading, 5 new vocabulary words, watching 1 English video. Whatever it is, do it every day for 30 days. Because here's the truth. The fastest learners aren't the winners. The most consistent learners are. The winners aren't the ones who sprint. They're the ones who stay in the race. Stick with me for just a couple more minutes because I'm about to give you a practical action plan to implement all 6 mind shifts this week. This is the part that turns knowledge into transformation. All right, let's recap these 6 powerful mind shifts. Mind shift 1. See the gray, not just black or white. Change or to and. Life is a dimmer, not a light switch. Mind shift 2. Think backwards. Ask, what would make me fail? And then avoid it. Dodge the potholes. Mind shift 3. Don't stay stuck with boring methods. If it feels like a chore and doesn't create progress, drop it guilt-free. Mind shift 4. Find your bottleneck. Identify the one thing slowing you down and fix it. Focus beats busy. Mind shift 5. Don't decide when you're emotional. When you're calm, you think. When you're emotional, you react. Clarity loves calm. Mind shift 6. Play the long game. Mastery hides in the boring days. Stay consistent longer. Now, here is your transformation plan for this week. Day 1 and 2. Choose which mind shift you need most right now. Just one. Day 3 and 4. Practice that mind shift consciously every time you study English. Day 5 to 7. Journal about how it's changing your thinking. What feels different? Remember, you're not just learning English, you're training your mind to think like a high achiever. These habits will serve you in every area of your life, not just language learning. By the way, I've created a free PDF workbook with all 6 mind shifts, vocabulary definitions, reflection questions, and a 30-day tracking sheet. It's completely free. Grab it from the link in the description. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'm really proud of you for investing in your mindset. It's the foundation of everything. Now tell me in the comments, which mind shift do you need most right now? Are you struggling with all or nothing thinking, emotional decisions, being stuck with boring methods? I read every comment and I'd love to hear from you. If this video helped you see your English learning journey differently, please hit that like button and subscribe for weekly lessons that combine practical English with powerful mindset strategies. Share this with a friend who's overthinking their English learning. They'll thank you. Remember, a calm mind learns faster. A clear mind speaks better. And a consistent mind achieves mastery. You're not just becoming fluent in English, you're becoming the kind of person who thinks clearly, acts wisely, and never gives up. This is Mia's English Space, your cozy corner for English practice and personal growth. I'll see you in the next video.